Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your fave, and today I'm here with my good friend and fashion designer Matilda.
Yes.
Who is the head designer, the lead designer of Ama Nwoke. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Ama Nwoke, she's the founder, she's an entrepreneur, she's a celestial black woman. So we're gonna talk today about the tea, about what goes on behind the highlight reel, behind the scenes of creating a fashion brand on your own, because you work by yourself.
Yes.
You're a one-woman team, and you've been building this brand for how long?
I've been building this brand in particular since like the middle of 2017, maybe end of 2016.
I came in today and I was like, so how are you with the universe? How is the journey of being a designer, artist, entrepreneur treating you? Okay, so explain, what's happening?
So it's not treating me that well, only because, you know, there's just so many ups and downs throughout this journey. Being a one-woman team, I'm constantly like having to wear multiple hats, you know, be a social media marketer, be a production manager, be a designer, be an event coordinator, you know. As a creative, you're not always skilled in all of these disciplines, and I'm also not an extrovert, so I just normally...
How do you deal?
I don't deal.
Oh my god. I am an introvert, and everyone thinks because I talk a lot, but that's just because I'm a Gemini. Everyone thinks because I talk a lot and because I'm always out and about and social, I'm an extrovert, but in reality, I think a lot of us artists are actually really introverted. But it feels like you need to be an extrovert to thrive in this world.
Definitely, especially with social media, because you constantly have to put yourself out there for people to take your brand seriously and for your brand to move forward through the social media currency, you know? So it's like being an introvert and being an introvert artist, it's hard for me to put my work out there for other people to see, because I don't like talking about myself all the time. I don't like allowing people into my world, into my life, because my art is literally my life. Like I tell people,
it's an extension of you.
I tell people all the time, like if I can't be creative and do my art, I feel like I'm dying inside, because it literally feels like that to me. So like having to like allow people into my art, or like allowing people into your house, like you don't just allow them.
It's vulnerable.
So it's hard for me to do that. So
I noticed you are not, unlike a lot of designers, well, not a lot, but I think a lot of artists are also the face of their brands. You are not. You're actually quite far removed from your art.
Yes.
Why is that intentional? Why is that?
I think like I said, I'm really not, like I'm not in this game for fame. I'm not in it for I want
to talk about that.
I'm seriously not. Like all of my friends that are also creative, that are like doing really well in the industry, they're always like, you were always the one that we knew was going to make it, because I'm extremely focused. But fame is not a thing that I want. Like I'm an extremely private person.
Really?
And I love the fact that I can be vulnerable and be myself around my friends. But I seriously don't want people like running after me, or like, I don't need that, because I know who I am. So I don't need people from outside. Like I don't need validation from anyone else.
Snap.
I'm happy with myself. So the fame aspect is perfect. Like it's something that I don't want. What I do want is the actual like comfortability and the flexibility that comes with being your own creative and having fun to be your own creative. That's what I want.
So what is that for you, success?
That for me would be success, for my brand to produce enough funds that I can live and just constantly produce my brand.
So how are you, let's talk about money.
Yes.
Because I know the topic that everyone seems to avoid, especially on social media. No one is talking about how they're sustaining themselves as creatives. And I think that is the biggest secret of the highlight reel. So for you, how do you fund your brand, and how do you live and exist in New York? Let's contextualize.
That is so true, yeah, because New York is so expensive.
Yeah.
I fund my brand 100.
Woo! I know, I just noticed that. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. I'm naked so often that I don't even realize when my clothes are coming home. You guys are welcome.
So for me, I basically fund my brand 100% through me. There's no co-founder. There's no fund me, GoFundMe page. There's no sugar daddy, unfortunately.
Wow, why not?
If there is one out there, you can always call me.
No, it really does feel like, I think all of us at some point are like, wow, why am I not a stripper?
Yeah, I literally just posted that on my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Just like, where was it? Yesterday was Friday. Just yesterday, I was in an Uber ride back here. And I just had the shittiest day at work ever. And I was like, I seriously am readjusting my life goals. And I don't think being a stripper would be that bad.
In the real world, how do you sustain yourself? How do you live? How do you fund the business?
Yeah, I work full-time through property management. And through my property management, I use that money to basically fund this.
Okay, because you're paying rent for your studio and you're paying rent for your home.
So I'm paying rent for my studio, my home, utilities for both.
Oh, wow.
Food, transportation, and then actual money to actually produce the clothing, to actually do the shoots, the photo shoots, to get the lookbooks, the website, the models, the hair and makeup. I'm literally funding all aspects of this myself. That's the reason why this is so near and dear to me.
Yeah.
Because it's there's no GoFundMe, there's no Bible as to how to make a business work. But if you think this is your passion and this is what you want to do, you will do anything to keep it going.
So why do you do this? Why put yourself through
it's literally
the trials and tribulations?
It's the only thing that makes me happy. It's the only thing that makes me happy. I could be I could have a shitty day at work, come to my studio and spend another 8 hours in my studio after being at work for already 9 or 10 hours.
Wow.
And I would be perfectly content and so happy doing so.
So, okay, once you know that I want to be a designer, what do you do next? What do you literally, what is the next? Because you've had collections, you have a whole magazine, you're an up and running business.
Yeah.
So, what step, I feel like it's because it's always the first step that feels most elusive to people. The process of going from idea to creation, what do you do to bridge that gap?
So for me personally, I knew I wanted to be a women's wear designer.
Okay.
Right? So first I verified which lane I needed to be in. So then after that, I started sketching because as a designer, I need to bring my idea into actual paper, tangible paper, so I can see exactly how I can move that paper into the different steps of creation to actually be a tangible item. Right? So I sketched and sketched and sketched. And when I first started sketching, I was horrible.
Really?
Horrible.
Wait, so didn't knowing that, oh my god, I'm trash, didn't you feel oh my god, why do this? This is not for me.
No, I just kept going because I knew eventually it would get better, with time, everything, progresses with time.
Right.
So I knew with time, everything would get better. And because I loved it so much, I was constantly sketching.
Wow.
So my skill set improved so fast. I also knew I had sketched previously in school. So I knew I had that skill, but when you don't use a skill that often, you it disappears and you lose it. You lose it. So when I started sketching again, my sketching was so shitty that I was embarrassed to show anyone.
Really?
So bad.
So how did you improve? Just doing it?
Yeah, just doing it. Every time I saw something that I was oh my god, that would be a great idea for an outfit, I would sit there, and this could be in the subway, on the bus, on the toilet, literally wherever, and I would just sketch it really, really fast.
Yeah.
And then one sketch turned to another sketch and two, you know what I mean? After a while, you've done a year of sketches and you can see your improvement where you do the shading and everything. So, yeah.
And do you ever think about being in New York, being in the fashion capital of the world? Do you ever feel like you're drowning amongst a sea of other designers? How do you stand out? How do you find your voice when there's just so many?
Yeah.
And like, how do you stay authentic?
When I first moved here, I felt as if like I had to be in the scene, and I had to be like, you know, who's this, who's that, and during that process, you feel as if it's like a competition, right?
Yeah.
I finally had to get to the point where I was like, I'm not competing with anyone. I'm literally only competing with myself. I'm creating my own timeline as to when I'm going to produce something. I'm not looking at what anyone is doing. And even if I'm looking to say, I applaud that person, gain inspiration from their hard work to then keep carrying on mine.
Yeah.
But I'm not, you know.
Because also, a reason why I asked that is because this year's especially, I've been dealing with a lot of feelings of envy, and especially being in New York and having all these people and friends who are really creative and beautiful and talented, and I just feel like everyone in my life is just flourishing and just incredible. And then I look at all these people, and as much as I'm happy for them, I start to wonder about myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I not excelling in my field and she is? What do I have to do? You know what I mean? Do you ever feel, you know, because envy is definitely, at least for me, like just this toxic thing that I just have to deal with.
I know I felt it. So I've felt that from people that I've been close with. Yeah. That I feel like, oh, we all came up the same way. Why you? Right?
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we all have our own paths, and it's like, you know, everyone has their time to shine, you know? So can you imagine if you and your best friend were shining at the same time? Like, one person couldn't be the supporter and the other person couldn't be the person actually shining.
I never thought of it
so
that
it's
way.
Like everyone has to get their time to shine, because we all have to play our role.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were shining and no one was there to back you up, be like, girl, you got this. It's perfectly fine. That outfit looks great. You know what I mean? If you didn't have those individual people backing you up, but at that time, or if everyone at that time was a shiner, like we couldn't have any support system.
Oh my god, I've never thought of like all of our lives as this like intricate web of just like this microcosm of like we're all helping each other excel. Yeah. I love that.
Or, I mean, even when you think about like the music industry and how Carly B and whomever, I don't even know these people.
Yeah, who knows their names?
Yeah, Cardi B and like Little Kim. Like Little Kim had to come up and do her thing before Cardi B can come up and do hers. Yeah. So it's like a system of like, you know, it's like a water, like, you know, one has to happen.
We're all paving the way for the next person.
Yes.
Wow, thank you for curing me of my anxiety, of all of my toxic issues.
But I literally feel that way all the time when I see friends that I'm like, oh my god, we grew up together. Oh my god, we had the same similar skill sets. We were actually friends. Why God? Why is this happening to this person instead of me? But eventually you just have to like center yourself and be like, you know, your time is coming.
True.
Your time is coming.
Do you believe that everyone is gonna be successful? Everyone will make it?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Because everyone has their position to play. I don't think, because in this race or in this like life, you know, not everyone can sustain that time and energy that it takes for them to be successful.
Right.
I mean, there's stories of people that like went 30 years and kept grinding for 30 years. Yeah. Like 30 years is a long time to keep that hope alive that you're going to make it.
So do you think that people don't make it because they give up after 30 years, or because even if they kept going after 30 years, they weren't going to make it?
So I think it's a multi kind of situation. Yeah. You have to have drive and determination, and then you also have to have some type of skill set, right? Yeah. So let's say, you know, you keep going in 30 years and you're an auto-tuner singer, you know? no matter how much longer you go,
yeah,
your auto-tune music, it's not going anywhere, you know? It's not going to be, but it's like if you find your own niche, your own road, and you add the skill and the determination to that equation,
yeah,
then eventually your time will come, because people will literally start dropping off like flies.
Wow. Yeah.
Because not everyone, people get married, people have kids, people, you know, settle, people like say, oh, I guess, you know, I wasn't able to make it in 5 years, so I'm just not going to keep going after my dreams anymore. So it's like...
And I think another issue is that a lot of people pursue dreams that aren't theirs. So a lot of people look at Cardi B and they think, oh my gosh, being Cardi B must be the best thing ever. Let me be a rapper. But they're basing that dream and that decision off of an illusion that someone else has projected into the stratosphere that isn't even real. And they end up pursuing that which was never for them. And I think that, wow, we're over here like having epiphanies. So what's next for you?
I think for me it's just continuing to like create clothing for my brand, trying to bring like visibility to the brand, and trying to just keep pushing, you know. It is a race, or not a race, but it is a marathon. So I just have to keep running my race in this marathon until like I pass the finish line.
What have you learned about business from the point that you began until now? What's the biggest business lesson?
Every coin counts.
Yeah.
Every little coin counts. And you have to be strategic as to how you use those little coins. You know what I mean? You have to, you know, you just can't throw these coins out. Like every little penny counts. So you just have to be very strategic. You have to map it out, and you just have to figure it out. And mapping it out doesn't mean like you literally need to have like a budget and, you know, spreadsheets and so forth. But if you have an idea, you need to dedicate like, oh, I'm going to put $100 to this idea this month. I'm going to put $150 next month. I need to put, you know, this amount that next month, because if you're just flowing through the phase and the idea that, oh, I have this great idea, but you're not actually putting any effort and time to it, then that's just an idea. You know, no one's going to be like, yeah, great idea, let me give you $1 million. Like you have to start putting work and effort and time and energy towards it, and then someone would then see your hard work one day and say, oh my God, this person is amazing. They've been working hard at this for such a long time. Let me help them because I see their vision. So
where can we all find you? By the way, we're both wearing Ama Nwoke. Love it, love it, love it. Link in the description box below if you want to find anything. Where can we all find you?
So you can all find me on Ama Nwoke on IG. And my website, amanwoke.com. And that's it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know if this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all your friends. Follow me, follow Matilda. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.